Is there an agenda? Yes, it's office hours. We have the protocol engineering team answering uh you know, building related questions. Oh, look at this guy trying to scam us. Hey, JCV tried to scam you. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it very briefly. Hey, come
Yeah,
on, assholes. I've been around the block a little longer than that.
yeah. Fucking nice try, asshole. Like half the moderation team, our co-founder, and like two SecOps members are here. An idiot.
The worst possible time.
The worst possible time. Oh Jesus. All right.
We should
I
make
got
a
a
roll
couple
of
questions.
got balls and give it to anyone who tries to scam during an AMA with engineering here.
Well, that's when we can give him the hemorrhoid roll
Oh god.
and then ban him. All right.
Should have a wall of shame.
That's Discord gems, but that's not public.
Yeah, okay, we should have a public wall of shame.
I agree. We absolutely should. Oh shit. All right. Well, let us kick things off. We actually got a couple questions at the beginning of the show. It's not really a show. It's I don't know, a forum, I guess you could call it. Okay. Um
You wanna give
how
people
f-
another 1 or 2 minutes to trickle in? Because
Yeah,
we have, what, 6 people here? In
absolutely.
the meantime, how's your lawn, John?
It's fine.
Thank God someone's asking the important questions.
The bigger problem's my garden. There's so much rain. I think some things are like drowning. At
Oh, jeez.
least the fucking rabbits didn't get to things. I hate those things. And yes, rabbits are vermin. They're not cute.
Yes, they are.
They're also food. They can be food, but I'm sure not these.
I mean, cows are cute and they're also food, so it's not a
That's true.
contradiction. Alright, probably give it 1 more minute.
We could continue the cows versus rabbits discussion until then.
Eat more rabbits.
Eat more rabbits, less cows. That could be. Oh yeah, there we go. We just made a new.
Chick-fil-A pivots.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to takes a hell of a lot of rabbits to add up to one cow, though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there is the expression "breeds like rabbits," though, so there are more of them.
They are good at making more rabbits.
They're like people in Alabama. I feel like Alabama people have a lot of kids, like more kids than they need.
I
Just
mean,
trying to help with the, replacement population.
Right?
and
Yeah.
the question is, are people from Alabama as good eating as rabbits are?
Probably not.
I would
Probably
guess
not.
no, but I have no proof either way.
I feel like there's a menthol taste.
Alright, so we're, 6 minutes in, and we covered, lawn care, gardening, a rebrand for Chick-fil-A, and cannibalism.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright, maybe
So,
your idea of starting off with questions was better.
okay.
Take it away, Rick.
Perfect. I was hoping the cannibalism would get us to the question section, but
Speaking of cannibalism, how's 8-bit VM going?
cannibalism. Max, how far has HBit VM development progressed so far? And are there any major upcoming milestones or big features the community could be excited about?
Yeah, it's moving along. The big thing we're working on right now is the opreth to opgeth conversion, which feeds into HBit VM because it gives us the ZK proving functionality that we need for actually generating the proofs for HBit VM. So that's I'd say the roadmaps, the opreth transition, and the Oxygen Bitcoin indexer, which is a ZK proven uh, fully indexed Bitcoin state that you can actually prove transitions in the same way you do with EVMs with their state tree construction. So those are both in progress and coming to completion relatively soon, although they're not going to be shipping to production until we go through a lot of testing with it alongside opgeth. And then after that, we have the actual proofs for HBitVM to make, and then the update to the POP algorithm. So the ZK proofs for HBitVM, the construction itself is difficult, as in coming up with the data model and how everything fits together. The actual code for that's relatively minimal, but it has to be really heavily scrutinized and audited. And then the POP update is relatively easy to do, but there's going to be some new tooling and economics balancing work, basically POP payouts v3 that bifurcates the payout between regular POP publications and these new HBitVM Ethereum attestation publications, and does those separately. So moving along, a lot of the big pieces are getting to completion into a state where we can start testing and auditing. And then a lot of the actual like Bitcoin script implementation of ZK verifiers, there's already good open source code from that we can very easily adapt, so don't have to do greenfield development there.
Also, there will be a deep dive tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST, all about HBitVM. Let's see. There's one more question. What exactly is Hair Games, and is there any official partnership or collaboration planned with Hemi Network? Is it web audited and safe? Where's Alex? Get over here. Get on stage. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Just
All right.
a second. I set my microphone. I just ask you 1 minute. I come back.
All right. Just for the record, Alex is our lead moderator, not a member of the protocol engineering team, but Hair Games is actually some games that were built on the Hemi network. So this counts as a building related question. I'll allow it. Not like I had any other questions to ask right now. But if anyone does have any further questions, by all means, now is the time. So don't be shy.
And also sort of relevant to building, while we're waiting for Alex, if anyone has any ideas they want to see in the, are we calling it Hemigo CTF? I don't know if we settled on that, but whatever we end up branding the CTF we're working on, if people have ideas either for challenges or fun mechanics around it, we're looking at doing some stuff with NFTs that could be interesting. But if anyone has any ideas, either things they've seen in other CTFs that were somewhat on-chain and crypto related that were interesting, or brand new ideas, it's more about you giving us ideas for what we're building. But if anyone has any ideas, definitely let us know.
Naming ideas are also completely welcome, as we are far better at building things than we are at naming them.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a reason that Teach Rick Crypto is still called Teach Rick Crypto.
And
For
trust me, we
instance.
tried.
But yeah, they we'll have a more detailed announcement in probably the week or so that comes, hopefully. But yeah, big Capture the Flag event is going to be happening on chain. So if anyone has any naming conventions or any activity ideas, we're all for it. And I think we're really excited to introduce you to Florida Panda. Not sure if I should have said that, but what the hell?
Yeah, why don't we tease it? You want to post Florida Panda?
Hey, we can post Florida Panda. Let me find him. Oh, God. I don't unfortunately have a Florida Panda what's it called? Folder as of yet, but I'm sure I
Oh,
will.
you will.
I'm sure I will. Now that he's got friends. Let's see. Give me 1 second while I track this down.
Would you really call those friends of his, or I don't know, co-defendants?
Co-conspirators.
Cronies. Cronies work. Where the hell did I post Florida Panda?
I'm gonna post Buford the Cryptogregator too.
During this time, Rick, I have find my microphone, so I can answer to the last question about air, if you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. For the audit not ready, we only using some open source resources. It's Alpha who integrate it into our website. Smart contracts are public, so you can check it and ask to Claude or another AI an audit to verify our smart contracts. And for the rest, I will share the GitHub repo of Air Games website, and you can find it on the Alpha GitHub too.
All right. Thank you, sir. I hope that answers your question. We have found Florida Panda, and he has now been pasted in there along, along with Buford the Crypt Aggregator.
This is why we're asking the community for ideas.
Yeah, I feel like my LLM has started like doing methamphetamines with Max's LLM. So this is where we're at. All right. Let's see. Who's got a building question? Who's here? Konang's here. He's usually got some building questions. Oh, I think he already asked one. Shit. Oh, Josh counts because he can't technically speak. So, that scammer guy came back.
Wait, he tried again?
He tried again, but this time he was tagging Max. God. Nice. All right, Josh, if we can add that to a very public wall of shame, that would be incredible.
And to answer Deeber's question, yeah, we're investigating that. It's something to do with the old legacy V1 BFG instance we're using, so it's quite a bit older than the current V2 code for people running their own stacks, but we're looking into how that keystone got in there. It doesn't affect anything for finality calculations, but obviously people don't want to be bot mining and publishing a bad keystone, so we are taking a look into that. I think there's another question. I'm trying to find it. Oh, Yehuzi asked, Yehuzi?
Oh, yep.
This is why we don't pronounce names.
I just saw
Yes.
that.
Which upcoming feature is technically the most ambitious on the roadmap? A lot of it kind of folds together, so the sort of pinnacle of everything we're working on, where it all converges together, is HBit VM. So that's the ZK proving piece, the new bot mining with Ethereum attestation piece, updates to HVM that give us more Bitcoin indexer features to use. So I'd say HBit VM not just on its own, but as sort of the culmination of, it pretty much encompasses everything else complex that we're working on. So
I have a question. It's not really a technical question, but about this format. Is it possible, maybe a day, in the same ID than the Teachric crypto, to make a review of a smart contract, for example, but together? And I don't know, maybe Max share his screen, and you comment all the function of the smart contract line after line to explain us what is under the code. This format is possible a day, maybe?
We could do something like that. We were, I mean, some of that's going to be part of Teacher at Crypto. So once we get through sort of the intro episodes that are setting the basics, we're going to do some hands-on, slightly more technical stuff. One of the ideas we floated was trying to write some smart contracts with AI and then going through and debugging those. So we'll have some of that content at some point. We could also do one of the things I've wanted to do for a while, but haven't had the time, was to do HVM programming tutorials, just going through and showing, hey, let's build a Bitcoin MEV marketplace, and here's the pieces of HVM you need for that. Here's how to use them. Here's the data model. So I would like to do more of that kind of hands-on content. I'm not sure quite the right form for it. It might be probably pre-recorded's better because we can do, edits and make everything concise instead of me trying to figure out why some auto update changed the version of the Solidity compiler or whatever is going on. But yeah, we would like to do more content like that for sure.
Yeah, Teacher Crypto is really supposed to be like a starting point for the type of things we can do, rather than just the end state. But it's there's gaps in terms of both the sort of early level stuff and the more advanced stuff. There's gaps on both ends, and
Yeah, I understand.
Konag read my mind. We need Rick coding ZK and Hemi.
That'll be the pay-per-view episode. Because that'll be like 6 hours long. But I mean, I'm down. I'm down to try. Let's see. Are there any game studios or gaming projects currently in development? Assuming on Hemi.
I mean, definitely what Alex is building, although we already covered that. We do have a partner project, Planet Atmos, who's doing some cool gaming stuff and looking to bring some of that on-chain. So we've discussed, I'm not sure if or when this is going to materialize, because the types of games they're developing they don't quite, they're like real-time 3D multiplayer games, which is kind of incompatible with on-chain gaming, but there might be some cool stuff we could do with like in-game assets on-chain. So we were talking about maybe doing that as one of the first chain builder demo chains, is build a, high throughput, low cost L3 that's made for transferring and owning gaming assets. So it's an idea on the whiteboard, no active development towards it, but that's something that could be interesting. Other than that, I'm not familiar with anyone else building games. We got Daniel Raphael from our team, who's has a side project working on that. I want to call it a multi-user dungeon. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but text-based adventure game that's on-chain. So that'll be interesting.
I think it's a genre that predates Buds slightly.
Yeah, fair enough. Back to what was it, Zork?
Yeah. So it's the prehistoric days of gaming, which is awesome. But so
That kind of
There's
gaming didn't need a
also-
graphics card.
There's also another game that Mudacon's developing, and it's actually posted in the new projects channel. So if any of you guys are interested in projects being built on Hemi, it's by fellow Hemigo. So I totally welcome you to please check out the projects channel. And if you have a project, we have the builder role, the beta tester role readily available. But yeah, there's already some really good shit in there. No one has a marketplace he's working on, and then Brotown.net is Mudacon's game, which is a generative NFT style game where you connect your wallet, it builds NFTs off the metadata. It sounds really cool. And yeah, join that conversation. The more folks who can contribute to cool shit and build cool shit, the more we have on the chain, and the more there is for folks to do. So
And Alex, happy to take a look at your contracts. We did an in-house audit for Mentora, so we could definitely do the same for your contracts. Actually, I owe Alpha a final audit after he got some fixes in, so another item on my
John,
to-do
speaking
list.
of, why can't I unmute? Okay, sorry, I couldn't unmute for a sec. Here we go. How does Hemi compare to Arcade? ArcadeOS.com. I'm not familiar with that. Gentlemen, anyone?
I'm not very familiar with it either. I came across it and looked at it briefly. I don't know their security model, so I'm not going to get into that. But they're not a chain. What they're doing is sort of a meta. I don't want to use the word meta layer because that gets confused with meta protocols like ordinals. But it's sort of a layer on top of Bitcoin where they're doing some sort of a thing with uh, basically coordinating how people build and send UTXOs. And again, I don't know the technical model for it, so I'm not sure if they're doing some sort of like threshold signature scheme or if they're doing something with, like a centralized operator who countersigns transactions when certain conditions are met. We've seen designs of both of those in the space that there's some interesting stuff you can do with them, but it's more limited. So they're not a chain, they're just a sort of a coordination layer on top of Bitcoin, whereas Hemi is a actual blockchain. You have Bitcoin, you can tunnel Bitcoin into Hemi BTC, do anything you can with an ERC20 with it. And you also have HVM, which means you can do native Bitcoin programmability from an EVM environment. So you can set up basically a incentive layer and a coordination layer that runs on chain, is fully auditable. You can build it with standard Solidity tools. It can go through standard Solidity audits. And then you can pair that with a on Bitcoin component that's economically incentivized from that layer running on the EVM on the Hemi network. And then with HBitVM, when we have that ready, that construction will allow you to actually, in air quotes, write to Bitcoin or make Bitcoin transfers conditional based on on-chain EVM activity, which can be Turing complete. You can do whatever you want, and then use that as a, basically a flag or an output that then can be used to settle native Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. So not super familiar with their exact architecture, but they're not a chain, they are a UTXO management and coordination layer.
Yeah, so it's all. I mean, it's not. Look, skimming at it, they mention being off chain a lot. So, you take that for how that fits into your both security and decentralization desires.
It kind of sounds like they're trying to extend some of the ideas of Lightning to more generic UTXO control.
Yeah, I could kind of see that, maybe. Except I'm guessing a little less permissionless than Lightning. Unfortunately, Lightning never got where we had all hoped it would, because I really like the idea of Lightning.
And it was very, very cool and relatively simple technologically. Simple in the good way of like elegant, but yeah, the hub and spokes model, and then the liquidity and rebalancing needs to keep channels liquid just doesn't. It could scale in some instances, but for general purpose use, it's kind of hard to scale out capital efficiently.
It was simple. You're right. It's simple tech-wise, but it sure as hell is not simple operationally.
No, and once it got to like multi-hop and then like onion wrapped hashes, I mean that it's again a simple concept, but the actual coordination around making that happen, finding peers, and then even the problem of who do you open a payment channel with, because you're encumbering Bitcoin and trusting them to be, you're not trusting them with your funds, but you're trusting them to be live. And if they disappear, you have to wait potentially months to do a default settlement back on Bitcoin. So it's not great from a UX perspective, but very cool. I was definitely hoping it'd catch on a lot more than it did.
Got a new one that just came in. Hey, welcome A19D. Asking some great questions here. Will Vetro.org provide more utilization to builders looking to use stablecoins on Hemi?
Will Vetro enable what was the provide more utilization to builders looking to use stablecoins on Hemi? Yeah, for sure. Not sure the exact shape. So Vetro's basically a sister project of Hemi. So under the overall block umbrella, it's a stablecoin focus. I'm hesitating a bit because I'm not sure how much of this is public, but I know what I can say is it's basically a stablecoin. It's a meta protocol layer on top of stablecoins, and so it basically you can put in USDC, USDT, other blue chip stablecoins in the future. And then there's an automatic treasury management layer that sits below that can basically allocate those funds to safe, vetted, audited strategies across the EVM ecosystems. That could be on the Hemi network, on Ethereum, on other L2s. Basically, wherever the best risk adjusted yield is, it can go source that yield from there, and then it packages that into a nice liquid product. So as far as the connection with Hemi, uh, there's going to be some parts of the protocol that are running on the Hemi network. I don't think I can get too into the details on that yet, but when we publish the white paper and some of the other content, that'll be public and we can talk more about that. I'm sure there's going to be initiatives we do with Vetro and stablecoins and doing some cool stuff with using the VUSD token on Hemi in different protocols and incentivizing it. So definitely some cool stuff. We're also working on this is kind of at the intersection, something called Hemi Earn, which is we've talked about in the past, but basically it's our one-click Bitcoin yield product, and that's going to expand to one-click Bitcoin and stablecoin yield product. And then the back end of that is also powered by Vetro's infrastructure, Vetro's yield generation strategies. So, and that Hemi Earn will live as a connector into that world that you interact with natively from the Hemi chain. Wish I could share more, but we should have some stuff coming out in the next, hopefully, few weeks about Vetro. There's also a cool AI component that, again, can't get into yet, but I think that'll be an interesting tech discussion when we get to that as well. And Rick, thank you for posting. Do you prefer the protocol engineering office hours in the afternoon or morning? Everyone votes afternoon, and everyone shows up in the morning.
Just a reminder that 57% of Famigos voted to show up to these afternoon sessions, but but the morning sessions are killing it and no one wants to go there, so I don't get it. But thank you to everyone who is attending the afternoon session. We'll revisit the poll in about a month. Oh. Max, I have a question from Joshua. Can we talk about anything we'll release to beta testers later in the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my it's a personal side project, but it's under the Hemi umbrella, but it's, it's a nights and weekends thing. But I'm working on a ZK proving marketplace, which is basically a on-chain order matching and proof job fulfillment verification system for ZK proofs. So anyone who needs ZK proofs for their application, it lets them come to the market and say, I want a proof of XYZ using this program with either this input and or this output, which is the interesting part. And then anyone can, in a decentralized fashion, bid on that. There's different auction models, but you can either have a sort of traditional Dutch auction, or you can have a regular auction for the ZK proving job. So it allows market discovery for or price discovery in a open decentralized marketplace for the cost of ZK proving. And then as part of that, I'm working on ports of the RISC-0, SP1, and OpenVM ZK provers to make them kind of all work under one unified interface that makes them easier to use together. But then also porting those over to run on AMD and Intel GPUs so that more people can participate in the market. And they're working on a ZK miner which wraps those optimized and translated ZK proving systems so that you basically just run one, kind of like back in the day, if anyone GPU mine where you run, CG miner and point it at a pool, you can do the same thing with the ZK miner and it'll just auto detect whatever hardware you have. Back to a marketplace, there's some configuration for, what minimum amount you want to be receiving in order for your computer to actually do work for the network. And then you just have a autonomous ZK miner running on your computer that's proving whatever ZK proofs people in the ecosystem need. And then the cool part about the marketplace, because there are other ZK prover marketplaces out there, but this one is prover agnostic or proving system agnostic. And so anyone can permissionlessly enable a new proof system. So, we'll have the standard like governance vetted, audited, approved ones for, again, RISC-0, OpenVM, and SP1 initially, and then we'll expand it, definitely watching as Jolt progresses into production. But the design of the marketplace is fully permissionless, so anyone can add a new verifier contract and people can start submitting jobs for it if they vet that contract and they're comfortable with it. So anyone can add proving systems, whereas most ZK marketplaces are locked to one specific proving system. And then the other thing is it's a lot more composable in DeFi. So one of the problems with traditional ZK proving markets is they require somebody to submit the job with the full witness data, like pinned to IPFS or something. And when you do that, you're basically introducing a centralized point of failure, which is the node that like the project's running that serializes the witnesses and posts them. And also you can't just automate it and compose it in DeFi, so it's extra infrastructure that teams have to run. Whereas with this model, you can basically define the validity of a proof in the marketplace by an output. So for example, we're going to be using this for all of the ZK proofs that the Hemi network needs, except obviously the private ones for the MinerFi system, but all of the public ZK proving that's needed for HBit VM. So as a concrete example, you could define a proof by saying, I want the ZK proof that proves the oxygen state transition between Bitcoin block X and Bitcoin block Y. And then somebody can produce that proof, submit it to the network. And so that's something that a protocol can drive deterministically because it doesn't have to get all of this off-chain data and serialize it into a witness. It can use the small amount of on-chain data that it actually cares about for the output of the ZK proof, and it can define proof validity based on that. So you could have a DeFi protocol that, say you had a off-chain order book DEX. You could have, a ZK proof of some state transition of that system. We're actually working on a version of a sort of L2, sort of L3. It's a kind of a hybrid design network for very rapid trading in all kinds of different markets. And that's going to require ZK proofs. And so that could plug into the system very easily. And an on-chain contract could automatically, you need a keeper to like trigger on-chain actions. But other than that, the contract has enough knowledge to request whatever ZK proofs are needed from the marketplace without you needing that centralized and, single point of failure operator node that's serializing witnesses, pinning them to IPFS, and then submitting ZK proof jobs to the marketplace. So the goal of that is we kind of need it for a lot of the stuff we're doing with Hemi because we want prover diversity. And so if we were to get RISC-0, SP1, and OpenVM proofs for everything we're doing, we'd be going to 3 different marketplaces, running 3 different submitter daemons that are, again, points of failure for the system, whereas this lets us unify it into basically just on-chain infrastructure that requests the proofs, can automate incentivization, and then you have just one central sort of clearinghouse for all of the ZK needs of the Hemi network. And while we're building that, might as well open it up and make it generic so anyone can build composable DeFi infrastructure that needs ZK proofs, as long as you can define the ZK proof by the output or the result on chain, which is 99.9% of the public ZK proving market.
All right.
Oh, so the question was, what's coming for testing? So, I got off on a tangent. So that's going to be one of the things that we'll be testing in the beta testers channel, hopefully relatively soon. We got a working prototype running on testnet, I think about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't had a lot of time to spend on it since then, but that'll be coming. And then the other thing will be for the quote unquote MinerFi, still working on the branding, but the system for easily onboarding Bitcoin onto the Hemi network with a fixed reserve deposit address and then composing it into DeFi. That's also going to be coming probably a little later, but that'll also be going through the beta testers channel first. And then further out, I'm sure there will be some HBit VM components that will test that way as well.
Will we ever see anything ZK proof related with the beta testers?
Yes.
Incredible.
ZK Proof Marketplace, and then MinerFi has a ZK component, but there will be ways to beta test it that involve, if you're interested in the ZK Proof side, if you want to get into the tech details, but the ZK Marketplace is a way for people to actually kind of like touch ZK proofs, running a ZK prover on their system, submitting jobs on chain, getting rewards for it. So that's a much more tangible version of kind of playing around with the ZK proving technology.
Right. I sorry, I wasn't gonna let this office hours go by without mentioning ZK proof at some point. And you
It
had
wouldn't be
me
office hours if we didn't.
right. I was like, wait a second, I gotta prompt him. All right. This question, I obviously open to you as well, Max. But I'd like to start with JCV because I feel like his answer will be hilarious. How much of Hemi is now being vibe coded?
So I would say exactly 0% because the people who work on Hemi are professionals who know how to fucking write software and engineer systems and who use AI as a tool to help them write code and to automate away parts of it that need help. It is at no point, fucking social media celebrities who just want to talk to a computer and have it pretend to write an app for them. So there's a reasonable amount of AI assisted coding. There is 0% vibe coding bullshit.
Yeah, there's nobody over here with an IDE and then the brain rot TikTok plugin next to it that plays videos while you wait for your AI to complete. Which is a thing. Somebody built that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Like that, that Subway Surfers thing?
Yes.
Yeah. So it basically just plays that. It plays a video of somebody else playing that game in your IDE for you. So you can be entertained while you wait for Claude to finish whatever Claude's doing for you.
I think some people have a very different definition for the word entertain than I do, I guess.
Same.
Was that an opinionated enough response for you, Rick?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. That completely lived up to the hype. That's what I was hoping for. No, Max did not do everything with Claude. God damn it.
I do use a lot of Claude tokens, though.
I like Claude also. That's the one I use for things, but
We actually did a AI demo day earlier today with the whole Hemi team for things in our workflow we've automated or made easier with AI. So definitely using it, just using it intelligently.
All right. Chat is starting to devolve into GIFs as opposed to questions. Excuse me. Uh, which might be our wrap it up symbol. Does anyone have any further questions for our engineering team and our co-founder and our lead moderator? Because Alex is still up here. Does anyone have any Alex questions?
Quiet, but yeah.
Any anything specific about France? We'll take those too.
I can give the receipt of the mayonnaise if you want.
Hmm.
Did
You know
mayonnaise
what?
come from France?
Yeah. That's
Oh.
it.
It just seems
Really?
like such an American thing.
Yeah, I was going to say if someone was going to do something that ill thought out, that absolutely screams American culinary.
Yeah.
Although to be
I-
fair, they do use a lot of butter in French dishes, so it kind of makes sense now that I think about it.
I guess if you just need a different form of, okay, maybe.
And to answer to Josh, not a political opinion, it's just a religion, the baguette. I was in Australia for 1 year when I was young, and what I miss more, it was the bread, the French bread, the French baguette. All the rest is okay in Australia, just their bread is not good.
I think you'd have the same experience here in America. All the bread has like high fructose corn syrup added to it.
What in the hell is that abomination posted there?
yeah, Hadu, what the hell is that?
I don't know. I kind of want one.
I-
Just me.
I don't know
Should have
if I'm
eaten
yeah.
lunch before this.
I don't know if I'm like hungry now or if I'm like disgusted. It's really giving me mixed emotions.
I will tell you, whatever's going on there, it needs more pepperoni and sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both from a color standpoint and from a culinary standpoint.
But seriously, what is that? Like it's really bugging me and I can't stop staring at it.
Is that? Oh wait, it's tacos on a pizza.
Broccoli pizza? There's
No,
more than
no,
broccoli
tacos
on
on a
that.
pizza.
Oh, tacos. Oh, my bad. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Tacos on a pizza.
Oh.
Now okay.
Now that's innovative.
Now that's yeah. That's all right. That's one of the few times I become proud to be an American when you look at something like that.
They were so obsessed with whether they could, they didn't ask whether they should.
Whether they should. Uh,
Oh my God, that definitely, if that was just a little bigger, that would looks like something from like Man v Food.
Joshua asked, the Americans made Cool Whip because mayo was too good for them, didn't they?
probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
Yeah.
mayo was too spicy for people in certain parts of this country, so they needed something a little less.
Oh God, yeah. I feel like we're back to Alabama again.
Oh man.
We just brought that all the way back. Now we're just gonna get back to cannibalism and we'll be in business.
We'll be full circle when we can close this out.
Exactly. All right. Well, if anyone is looking to obtain the builder role or the beta tester role, they are readily available. And if you have any questions on either of the roles, you can ask them now, and we can try to answer them for you. Yeah, that's really all I got. I'm not an engineer, so this is your office hours. I'm just just hanging out.
Just our emotional support, Rick.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like the mascot for the team. So
Especially now with your animated PFP, whatever's going on there.
oh yeah, it was one of those stupid Discord quests, and it was like watch this trailer, and it was like the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I watched the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer, and it was like here's a PFP thing of Scorpion. I was like, oh sick.
Why not?
So yeah, why not? It was free.
Oh, one other thing to mention. Not sure if it's going to be next week, but in the coming few weeks, we're going to get Marco on to talk about some of the cool ordinal stuff he's working on too.
Oh, that's awesome. You know what? Should we do a should we do a full breakout for that, or would you prefer it be at office hours?
I think we'll probably have him talk about it a little bit on midweek, and then maybe pop in here if there's people with engineering questions once some of it's actually like pushed up and maybe activated on testnet. So we'll probably
Okay.
do midweek to kind of just talk about what he's working on, some of the cool things you could do with it. And once we get it out there and people can actually play with it and think of what they want to build, then maybe pull them in for an office hours.
Hell yeah. Awesome. I think that's a great idea. Like, yeah, I feel like if we do it on like midweek, that way we still have like the StreamYard presence. Because that's really cool. And I know Marco has a lot to say about ordinals. So,
Guys working on some cool stuff, so
he's working on some really cool shit.
even if it's illegal to make real cheese in your country. I think it is in the US too. The US has a not to get off on a cheese tangent, but apparently I know nothing about cheese making either. But there's something they use in cheese making, like the bacteria, the cultures, and apparently like 80% of American cheese is made with some genetically modified culture that was because they usually use rennet from cows, but there wasn't enough of that because everyone stopped drinking milk or something. And then I think it was like Pfizer or somebody like that developed this GMO version of rennet, and that's what like 80% of the cheese in America is made with now.
There was a point near the late in her life where my grandmother started making cheese, and she had this Snapple bottle full of some brown liquid that she could not tell us where it came from or what it was, but she was using that to make the cheese. And
Probably good
I,
cheese.
she had like the little like almost cafeteria size things of milk that she was getting from Meals on Wheels at that point, that she was using that to make cheese, and it was weird, but it was interesting.
She sounds like she was the OG equivalent of like the sourdough fanatics. Who have their what do you call it?
Starter.
The starter. Thank you. You have the starter that you like build and grow and maintain over years.
I've got that. I've got sourdough starter in my kitchen.
I would probably get into it. That's why I make fun of it instead. Because if I got into it, I'd become obsessed with sour bread making.
Yeah, I've got like a whole spreadsheet of shit related to it. It was a weird weird use of Google Docs, let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, Alex. Almost all the cheese over here is pasteurized or made from pasteurized milk.
And most of it can't even legally be called cheese. They're called cheese products.
'Cause that's not sketchy.
That's not sketchy at all. Well, I mean, neither is having a fucking drug company get involved with the cheese
Cheese
making process.
manufacturing. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's like, get out of here. That would be like if I was involved in the cheese making factory. Like,
I would trust you, Rick. I don't.
yeah, I mean, I would
Big
probably
Pharma,
be
on the
better
other
than
hand.
Pfizer. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be putting anything weird in it. I just wouldn't know what
The
the
cheese might
fuck I
not
was
taste
doing.
good, but it's not going to kill you.
It's not gonna kill. Yeah, it won't, cause mutations. At least.
At least we don't think so. Not intentionally.
Right, right. But I mean, we can talk about sourdough making. That's technically building, so we'll allow that uh, for future episodes when we need to kill time. It makes a lot more sense than lawn care, which I'm still hung up on. Uh, Let's see.
Oh man.
All right. I see a comment about spaghetti. A lot about cows and unpasteurized milk. More gifts and travel plans. Okay. So so with that, we're gonna wrap things up 8 minutes early. Unless I'm gonna unless I'm gonna give you guys one more chance. I don't see multiple people typing. So, all right, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank you guys for attending the afternoon session, which, by the way, was voted on by the community of our our office hours. I hope you learned something, and we really hope we see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. EDT for a deep dive into 8-bit VM with probably most of the folks you see here, as well as some other folks who you've probably seen before from our protocol engineering team. And yeah, the question channel is open for that. Please check announcements. If you have questions in advance, feel free. Otherwise, we'll be accepting them during the show. And that's it. I've done a lot of talking today. That's all I got. Anyone else? John? Max?
I
Josh?
think that's about it. So thanks to the what is it, 7 people who came to this afternoon session.
Yes.
We will be revisiting the timing.
Thank you to the 57% of people who voted for the afternoon session as they all showed up. God damn it. Oh boy.
I still find that hilarious. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. Stay tuned for some cool stuff in the beta testers channel over the next hopefully couple of weeks here, at least with the ZK market. And yeah, if you have any other building questions, get them queued up for next week. We'd love to go through them. And yeah, definitely love to see you at the 8-bit VM AMA tomorrow at, as Rick said, 9 a.m. Eastern. And we will see you there and next week.
Thank you and good night. Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Thank you all so much. Be safe out there and take care.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right. Thanks all.